Hello, I am Alexander Hamilton, the former Secretary of Treasury from 1789 to 1795. My exact birth date is unknown, but I was either born on January 11, 1755 or 1757 in the West Indies. When I was young, my father abandoned my mother and I. Soon after, my mother fell ill and died. As an orphan teenager, I became an educated student and a talented writer. I was so skilled, my community raised enough money for me to go to New York. I enrolled into Princeton but was forced to leave when the college temporarily shut down for the war. For most of my career, I worked on George Washington's staff. During the Revolutionary War, I fought alongside him as a soldier and a commander. After the war, I got into politics. When Washington became the first president in the United States and created his cabinet, he hired me as the first Secretary of Treasury on September 11, 1789. I was one of the 4 members of his cabinet. The other 3 were Thomas Jefferson, the Secretary of State, Henry Knox, the Secretary of War, and Attorney General Edmund Randolph. Eventually, more and more departments were created until there were 15 of them. I structured and designed the Department of Treasury, leaving a lasting mark on it. One of my biggest rivals, Thomas Jefferson, and I constantly battled over the amount of power the Treasury should hold. In the winter of 1790, I presented my case to the president to open America's first national bank. Later that year, bank operations started in Philadelphia and slowly expanded to other cities. For the rest of my time as head of the Department of Treasury, I spent my time establishing modern financial systems and paying off the debt from the war. Policies worth discussing are coins. The U.S. Mint should stop manufacturing pennies. This is because the penny is worth half a cent more to make than it is worth. In 2017, the U.S. Mint lost $69 million manufacturing pennies and an extra $20 million making nickels. Besides, on overseas U.S. military bases, pennies are already eliminated. I also believe that nickels should be eliminated because it costs 7 cents to make, while the nickel itself is only cost 5 cents. The dime and quarter are very cheap to make considering their worth, so the U.S. Mint shouldn't stop making those. As Secretary of Treasury, I didn't make many mistakes. One of my only ones was my ambition for power. I saw my position as equivalent to a prime minister, and that caused unnecessary rivalries. I resigned as Secretary of Treasury in January of 1795 because I was losing money and I wanted to go back to practicing law. I sadly died on July 11, 1804 in a duel with Aaron Burr. My legacy still lives on because of my career and because my wife Eliza made sure to tell my story.